Today on Oregon News, Springfield Public Schools appointed a new acting superintendent in the 31st Pancake Breakfast fundraiser for Corwell Family Center.
Despite the rain, Oregon softball defended Jane Sanders Stadium while hosting the Oregon Classic. And we'll take you inside Play Eugene for the community's very own pinball tournament. All of that plus more coming up.
Good morning and welcome to Oregon News. I'm Emily Prano.
And I'm Shay Barnes. A 14-year-old boy shot in Eugene on February 17th is now awake and talking, according to his family. Police responded around 10 p.m. to reports of shots fired near Marche Chase Drive by Autzen Stadium. Officers found the teen in a parking lot on South Garden Way and rushed him to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. His family identified him as Major Clemens and says he is now alert and recovering. The 16-year-old has been arrested for first-degree assault and the investigation is still underway. The family has started a fundraiser seeking to raise $30,000 and says they are grateful for the community support as Major continues to heal.
A man is dead after a school bus and SUV crashed in Polk County Monday morning. Oregon State Police said it happened just before 10 a.m. at the intersection of Highway 22 and Highway 51. Troopers say Salem Cruiser school bus tried to make a left turn and moved into the path in an eastbound Honda Pilot. The two vehicles hit head-on. The driver of the Honda, 68-year-old Luke Richard Pritton, was pronounced dead at the scene. The bus driver, 33-year-old Chandra Jean Milkovich Howard, had minor injuries and was taken to a hospital. The bus was carrying two adults, 30 students, on a field trip to Western Oregon University. One student had a minor injury and was also taken to the hospital. The case will be the district attorney for review.
A nearly $2.5 million federal grant is coming to Eugene to help build housing for people transitioning out of homelessness. The funding will support a new micro-village with 100 small homes, about 16 by 16 feet each. The units will include bathrooms with shared kitchens, laundry, and on-site medical and social services. Rent is expected to be around $300 a month for people making less than 30% of the area median income, which is about $19,000 a year for one person. The project is a partnership between Everyone Village, Opportunity Village, and Lane Workforce Partnership. High school students will help build the homes, gaining hands-on experience in the trades. Organizers say the goal is to create a permanent, low-cost housing option and a real path forward for people ready to rebuild their lives. The Oregon House passed a bill that would require police to wear name tags and restricts the usage of masks. House Bill 4138, otherwise known as the LEVA bill, aims to put a name and a face behind any and all law enforcement activity in the state of Oregon. The bill comes after months of protests across the state over ICE and federal law enforcement activity. Supporters say it's designed to increase transparency and accountability for law enforcement as a whole. The measure passed the House 36-19 and now heads to the Senate for further consideration.
Springfield Public Schools has appointed a new acting superintendent who will assume the position for 4 months after the previous superintendent, Todd Hamilton, negotiated his resignation back in February. He and Assistant Superintendent David Collins filed a tort claim against the board, claiming retaliation, false light, defamation, and violations of Oregon whistleblower laws against board members. A unanimous vote by the school board selected Jody O'Mara to be the acting superintendent for Springfield Public Schools starting March 1st. In a statement, O'Mara in the school district stated, quote, "As acting superintendent, Jody's dedicated to working with student families and community partners to ensure all students are prepared for a bright and successful future," end quote. O'Mara previously held the same position for Middleton School District for 10 years before retiring in 2022. Her second day on the job is today, as the new position officially began yesterday, but will only run until June 30th.
A funding shortage to the University of Oregon Hazards Lab could mean a more uncertain wildfire season. The lab confirmed a $2 million funding shortage last weekend. Members fear this could impact the lab's ability to maintain their 70 wildfire cameras across the region. With the combination of AI software and human maintenance, these cameras watch forested areas 24/7 in case of wildfire. Oregon Hazards Lab and the Oregon Department of Forestry are pushing for funding in the current state legislative session. If no funding is granted by the end of the session, multiple cameras will be offline come wildfire season.
Our show is completely student-run thanks to the University of Oregon School of Journalism and Communication, but we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for Oregon alum Paul Bernard. Reporter Ashley Davison has the story.
These hallways have seen generations of student journalists pass through, but few have actually shaped what happens inside the building the way Paul Brainerd did.
On Sunday, February 15th, University of Oregon alumni Paul Brainerd passed away at the age of 78 after battling Parkinson's disease.
Brainerd, best known as a pioneer of desktop publishing, chose to invest in something far more personal here, the future of journalism at the University of Oregon. I sat down with former School of Journalism and Communications Dean Tim Gleason to hear more about Brainerd and the impact he's left on Allen Hall.
Paul Brainerd was just an amazing guy. He was very quiet, very thoughtful, and he worked really hard to make the world a better place. He graduated from Lundquist College in business. He was a business major, but he had also been the editor-in-chief of the Oregon Daily Emerald. He was the one who convinced us that we needed to create a computer network in the building. And he made that happen. I mean, he led the effort to make that happen in the late 80s, and we were one of the first buildings on campus to be networked.
Brainerd not only cared about students and the work they produced, but also the spaces where it was all being done.
When we were designing this space, Allen Hall 2.0, the current building, we were showing him designs, and he looks at them, he pauses, he smiles, he looks up, and he says, "Blow out the walls." And that became kind of the defining concept for this space. So all of the collaborative spaces, or the computing labs on the third floor, those used to be 3 separate rooms. And Paul kind of said, "No, just blow out those walls." And so all of the collaborative space, or even these little corners that you see in the building where students can gather, that was all a result of him saying, "Blow out the walls."
Those who knew him say Brainerd believed journalism mattered, that informed communities were stronger ones.
The best way for all of us, and for students, to honor Paul Brainerd's legacy is to do great work, to be creative, to be thinking outside the box. I mean, but to be thinking creatively, to be thinking about the future, and also caring about the world.
At the University of Oregon, from Allen Hall, I'm Ashley Davidson.
Adding your own flavor to fashion comes with age.
Okay, Dad, look at you.
Yeah, welcome. Hi.
Forgetting how to add doesn't. Finding it difficult to work with numbers may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Dad, are you okay?
An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's. Some things come with age, some others don't.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
There's nothing like celebrating a big play. But now, we're celebrating something bigger than sports.
Love, your mind.
Love?
Your mind.
You're training your mind as much as you're training your body.
For me, just stay grounded. Be with the people who make my mental health better and not worse.
So when you see us hit this, it's a reminder to
love
your mind.
Mixed reactions are emerging across the country following U.S. strikes on Iran. Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei was reportedly killed in U.S. and Israel airstrikes. In response, demonstrators rallied in cities nationwide. Anti-war protesters condemned the strikes, calling them an illegal act of war. In Eugene, protesters gathered outside the federal building. A small group briefly blocked the streets in the area. Police say one person was hospitalized after a driver attempted to move through the blockade. In several U.S. cities, Iranian Americans celebrated in the streets following reports of Khomeiни's death. Ramin Sohrab, a 45-year-old Connecticut resident, said, quote, "At home, they don't call this war. They are calling this human rescue," end quote. Severe storms caused more than $15 million in damage across Oregon. Governor Tina Kotek requested a major disaster declaration from the White House following December storms. Back-to-back atmospheric rivers triggered flooding, landslides, and power outages, leaving more than 300,000 Oregonians without electricity. Governor Kotek says, quote, "Rural communities are stretched beyond their limits and help from FEMA is urgently needed," end quote. The request includes Clackamas, Hood River, Lane, Lincoln, Lynn, Polk, Tillamook, Union, and Yamhill counties, along with statewide access to the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. If approved, the declaration would provide funding for debris removal, emergency protective measures, and repairs to public infrastructure. Hazard mitigation funding would also support long-term projects aimed at reducing the impact of future disasters.
A long-lasting tradition continues to make an impact for Co-op Family Center in Eugene. This past Saturday was the 31st annual breakfast fundraiser. It was held in the Spencer's View Apartments community room. Money raised went to Co-op Family Center, a nonprofit organization that works as an early childhood grade school. The pancake breakfast has been a key event in the school's history for decades.
Back 31 years ago, there's a group of kids that really wanted to put together a breakfast for their parents. And so the teachers worked with them to have the kids making the pancakes, the families came in, they were served the pancakes. Eventually, it became the fundraiser where families started coming and paying in order to come be part of this and get their pancakes made for them. And then we added a silent auction, which this year is a raffle, but we kind of paired what used to formerly be a separate art show event, got paired with the breakfast so that it kind of became this whole big fundraising.
Raffle items donated from brands and companies across Eugene and Springfield. Most school events closed to the general public. The annual pancake breakfast remains a pivotal part of the school year. Upcoming events and further information can be found on the Co-op Family Center website.
Tonight, skywatchers around the world are in for a breathtaking celestial show. A total lunar eclipse is set to transform the full moon into a dramatic blood moon, making the moon a dark red color through the Earth's shadow. This incredible cosmic event will be visible to over 3 billion people across North America, Australia, East Asia, and beyond, with the most vivid colors appearing at its peak, the period when the moon is completely immersed in the Earth's darkest shadow. The eclipse reaches its peak early this morning, and unlike solar eclipses, a lunar eclipse is safe to watch with the naked eye. No glasses or filters needed. Just look up at the night sky and enjoy one of nature's most spectacular light shows. And here's the extra bit that makes tonight truly special. This will be the last total lunar eclipse visible from Earth until New Year's Eve 2028, so don't miss it.
Coming up, weather anchor Sophie Fowler has more on the lunar eclipse and the forecast for the week, and the blood moon.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Losing the fear of looking foolish comes with age.
Who did you steal him from?
Losing your way in your own home doesn't. Confusion with time and place may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Mom, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Good morning and welcome back to Oregon News. I'm Sophie Fowler, bringing you this week's weather report and pet walk forecast. Well, say good morning to this lab named Charlie, who seems to be ready for his morning walk. It's already looking like it's going to be a nice day outside. While it is a bit cloudy and foggy and the ground is still wet from the weekend rain, we should start to see the afternoon clear up with a high of 59 degrees in the Eugene area and some possible sun peeking through the clouds. A perfect time to go outside and get in any afternoon dog walks in before the sun sets tonight at 6 p.m. Now, make sure to take the afternoon sun in because it looks like the rain will be back starting tomorrow. Looking at Eugene's 7-day forecast, highs will stay in the mid to low 50s with a high chance of rain through Wednesday. Wednesday is also seeing a chance of thunderstorms in the early afternoon, so be prepared if you plan on being outside with any spring sports or any afternoon hikes. It might be good to avoid. Starting Thursday, we should see the rain begin to die down a bit and it will be cloudy. Lows throughout the week will stay in the mid to low 40s. Current temperatures right now in the region are not too bad. Eugene is in 49 degrees and Corvallis is seeing a similar temperature at 50 degrees. Roseburg is also around 50 degrees and Coos Bay is at 51 degrees with light showers. And again today, the highs are 51 degrees in the Eugene area with a low chance of rain in the afternoon, while Corvallis and Roseburg are seeing similar high temperatures at 60 degrees with no afternoon rain. Coos Bay will also be at 60 degrees. However, there is a slight chance of continued showers from the morning. Now let's take a look at Roseburg's 7-day forecast. We are going to see rain starting Tuesday and carry on to potentially Friday morning, but the rest of the week should stay semi-dry. Highs are in the upper 50s at the beginning of the week, and then it's going to cool down to the lower 50s in the midweek and get back to the high 50s to low 60s by the end of the week. Now let's take a look at Coos Bay's 7-day forecast. If you plan on going to the coast this week, make sure to pack an umbrella or a raincoat. Rain will pick up Tuesday morning and stay for the majority of the week with highs in the mid to lower 50s. Friday through Sunday should stay semi-dry with highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s, and lows will stay consistent throughout the week in the mid to lower 40s. And tomorrow is a special day because it is a lunar eclipse, which can only happen during a full moon, and it is also known as the worm blood moon, which means it is a total eclipse in the month of March. The best time to see it in the regional area is at 3:33 in the morning, which I know is very early. However, the next lunar eclipse won't be until New Year's Eve in 2028. So if you enjoy waking up very early in the morning, I highly recommend checking out the sky tomorrow morning. Temperatures in the region will be around 46 degrees and there is a chance of showers, so a chance that the moon could get covered by clouds. However, I think it's still worth a shot to check it out. And that's all we have today for weather. And we are in the month of March and that the madness has already started in the sports world. Sports anchor Saul Galvan has you covered after this.
There's nothing like celebrating a big play. But now, we're celebrating something bigger than sports.
Love, you're mine.
Love?
You're mine.
You're training your mind as much as you're training your body.
For me, just stay grounded. Be with the people who make my mental health better and not worse.
So when you see us hit this, it's a reminder to
love.
You're mine.
It's Friday night y estamos activos. Head out early. Drinks flowing till 11 p.m. It's gotta be lit.
No sé qué pasó. I didn't even drink that much.
There's nothing like celebrating a big play. But now, we're celebrating something bigger than sports.
Love, you're mine.
Love.
Your mind.
You training your mind as much as you're training your body.
For me, just stay grounded. Be with the people who make my mental health better and not worse.
So when you see us hit this, it's a reminder to
love
your mind.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Oh, I love that. Here's Smokey Bear. March is finally here, and if you're a sports fan, you have to love what the next 31 days have in store. The madness started on Sunday with Oregon women's basketball, an anticipated regular season finale matchup with the Washington Huskies. We'll start off in the first quarter. Katie Fiso for the Ducks gets the take and steal all the way to the cup to tie it at 9. But the Huskies, though, got the best of the Ducks in the first half, outscoring them 36-27. Moving on to the second half, Ahisa Tuesday going coast to coast with it, taking it all the way. That got the bench excited. She would finish with 6 points. This one came down the wire, though, 67 points, and Ahisa Tuesday also with the go-ahead bucket to go by 2. Washington, though, on the other end, Savea Sellers with a and-one shot. She would miss the free throw, but finished up with 29 points. She really had a great game against the Ducks in that one. On the other end, Oregon with possession, trying to get the last shot, but Katie Fiso bumps into a Husky. That's Devin Coppinger, who got the foul offensively. So she's at the free throw line. Ducks don't have a free throw to give. She hits the second one. Washington goes up by 1. On the other end, Ducks do get it in. Ari Long with the long three-pointer and cannot knock it down. The Huskies take the regular season finale over Oregon. Oregon unable to finish the season win and now turn to postseason. Sports McKenna Rowland was at Matthew Knight Arena following the Ducks' loss.
The stakes were high for both the tournament race and the push towards March Madness. And with last night's loss, Oregon women's basketball felt the impact. The defeat dropped the Ducks to number 11 in the conference standings, forcing a first-round Big Ten tournament matchup. Still, head coach Kelly Graves remains confident in his team's ability to respond when it matters most.
Well, we'll be prepared. I don't know how many close games we've played. We've won some, we've lost probably more. But, yeah, because the NCAA tournament, most of the games come down to that. And so we'll certainly be battle-tested.
Oregon entered the game projected as the number 8 seed in the NCAA tournament, just behind the Huskies at number 7. The Ducks open Big Ten tournament play on March 4th in Indianapolis, facing off against number 14 Purdue, a familiar foe they've previously defeated 71-65. Reporting for Oregon News, I'm McKenna Rowland.
On the men's side of the hardwood, Oregon building some end-of-the-season momentum after back-to-back wins. However, the Ducks could not keep it going to start their Midwest road trip. Dana Ullman's squad flew to the Windy City for a matchup with Northwestern and couldn't get past the Wildcats. Oregon was solid in the first half, taking a 7-point lead into the locker room, but couldn't carry it to the end. Northwestern shot 61% from the field in the second half and scored 18 points off turnovers. Ducks were in it until the end, leading by 1 with 8.6 seconds, but the Wildcat star Nick Martinelli finished with 22 points and shot a near perfect 8 of 10 from the field, lays it in for the go-ahead bucket. And with no timeouts left, Takai Simpkins on the other end for the Ducks. He's not able to hit a long-range 3. And the Northwestern able to protect home turf and drops the Ducks to a tie for 16th in the Big Ten standings with just 2 games to go in the regular season. After a gauntlet of a schedule to open up the season, Oregon softball fell right at home in their first weekend back at the Jane. For the first 4 games, Ducks started to look like last year's World Series team, but are still searching for a complete game offensively. Sunday brought an opportunity to just that versus Sanford in the final game of the Oregon Classic. It was a little bit rainy at the Jane on a Sunday, but wasn't enough to hold off the Ducks. Riley McCoy come up to the plate. She only had 2 hits in the first 3 weekends, led the team last year in home runs, and she finally got it going with the bat, sent a solo shot out to left field in the first inning after Oregon trailed 2-0. and it feels good to be Riley McCoy get that home run. Then later on in the second inning, Emma Cox also wanted part of that freshman group last year, now in their sophomore year. She drives in a pair, and that was the story of the day. Oregon scored 18, that's right, 18 runs, their highest run total since scoring 21 last year against Rutgers. They would win 18-2 and go 5-0 on the weekend. Ducks found a spark with the bats, and for head coach Melissa Lombardi, another step in the process in their season-long race to get back to Oklahoma.
This weekend, you could see from the beginning of the weekend to today, we have just been getting closer and closer to who we are. And I think this lineup is lethal. I think anybody can come in. I mean, I've been talking about our power since the fall, and I believe in that power. And so I think you're just starting to see them gel more together and really just pass the bat. So I'm excited to see what's next for this group on Wednesday and then this next weekend.
Oregon baseball also played their cards right this past weekend, taking 2 of 3 games and named tournament champions at the Live Like Lou Las Vegas Classic. The Ducks took the first game on Friday versus Arizona before winning a tight contest with Vanderbilt to finish the road trip. Cal Scolari versus the Commodores surrendered just 2 hits and struck out 8 in 6 innings pitched. 8 different Ducks landed on the all-tournament team, including Dominic Hellman, who hit 2 home runs on the weekend. Next up for Oregon, back home for a midweek rival matchup with the Oregon State Beavers on Tuesday at PK Park. And speaking of championships, Oregon track and field added another 2 trophies to their wall this past weekend. The men and women's of swept the field en route to their 2nd consecutive Big Ten championships. The women racked up 101 points, while the men scored in 12 of 18 events to accumulate 114 points. The Ducks had 5 individual champions, including Silan Ayildez, who took home 2 titles in the mile and 5,000 meter event. The sweep makes it the conference titles, 8 conference titles for Oregon track and field since joining the Big Ten last year. And finally, before we go, Oregon football made its presence felt at the NFL Combine this past weekend. 9 Ducks were participated in the Ultimate Showcase in Indianapolis after sending a program 12 last year. Tight end Kenyon Sadiq made headlines for his numbers in multiple categories, including running a 4.39 40-yard dash, the fastest by a tight end since 2006. Local Eugene native Bryce Betcher also one of the selected to participate in the Combine. The wait is on now to see where these Ducks will end up in the NFL Draft. It's scheduled for April 23rd to 25th in Pittsburgh. Crazy to think we're already thinking about football. When we come back, it might be retro to some, but a local Eugene tournament is bringing the game of pinball back to life. We'll tell you more about it after this on Oregon News.
Losing the fear of looking foolish comes with age.
Who did you steal him from?
Losing your way in your own home doesn't. Confusion with time and place may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Mom, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Everyone has a ritual. That small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If you've been short on hobbies, One Inch Community is always welcoming new members. Reporter Tyson Palatichuk has more on the story.
While the days of Mario and Gattaca may be long gone, One Eugene Community is keeping the arcade spirit alive with pinball. Last Friday, Play Eugene hosted the Champs Tournament, where players of all skill levels came to compete for prizes, cash, and most importantly, to be a part of the community.
It means a lot to me. I'm a new transplant. I moved up here middle of 2024, so it has helped me to find a lot of friends. It was very open and welcoming to me.
While the community itself is the pillar of pinball here in Eugene, the machines themselves act as the beacon. With bright lights, high scores, and new ways to play with every silver ball, it's not just a new world to explore, it's an escape from reality.
My favorite game here is the James Bond 60th Anniversary Edition. A neat thing about that one is you can choose before you start the sounds you want it to make. If you want it to sound like a pinball machine from 1965 or 1972, that's your choice.
As the Champs Tournament came to an end, 6-year veteran Justin took home the first place prize with his 3rd tournament win of the week. If you're looking to watch or participate in the next Eugene Pinball Tournament, visit ifpapinball.com for more information. With Oregon News, I'm Tyson Plotachuk.
That's going to do it for us here at Oregon News.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.